I've always wanted to have a younger sister since I was a child. I always keep begging my parents. Their reaction was to give me a blank eye. Tell me things are not as simple as I thought. But this alone can't stop my determination. Every time I get a chance, I will keep mentioning it in front of them. The day they brought Sarah home, it was the happiest day of my life. He is so cute. I can't wait to take out my toy. Played with him. I started to distribute my toys one by one. I gave some to him. Others are left to me, after I borrowed the labeling machine from my dad. Start to put our name on everything. In this way, our things won't be messed up. Sarah used to cry when she first came. I asked my parents why he kept crying. They only told me it was normal. They said, once Sarah gets used to living with us, he will calm down. Won't cry anymore. But sometimes he really cries too loudly. Dad had to. I had to take him to the basement. Because the sound insulation effect in the basement is very good. So we won't be complained about by our neighbors for being too noisy. Sarah's first month here, I slept with my parents. Sometimes I want to join them, but they always lock the door. Mom said, because their bed is not big enough. Can't squeeze all of us. But it's okay. I am very patient. I know the one in my room is equipped with a fence. Brand new bed. I bought it for him. One day, he will sleep in his own bed. When parents think, when you can let him sleep alone. They started to put him in his bed. At that time, he didn't cry so often anymore. And I will lie on the bed. Watch him sleep from the other end of the room. At the beginning, they will take him into their room first. Lie down with him. Until he fell asleep. Just moved him back to our room. A few nights after he was picked up, I saw him open his eyes. Lie there quietly, staring at the ceiling. Then I will lean over. Give him some toys from the middle of the fence. Many times, his reaction turned out to be to throw away the toy. Then I cried. See him like this. I can only deal with him before Dad enters the room. Hurry up and hide in the quilt. One day they finally agreed. Let Sarah sit in the game room with me. I was told, don't give him anything that is too small or too sharp. Because that might make him hurt himself. I'm really happy. Sit behind him and help him comb his hair. I told him. He is the best sister in the world. I explained to him which toys belong to him. Which toys? It belongs to me. But he doesn't seem to care very much about it. Sometimes we sit by the window. When I draw on it with special crayons, he will start slapping the window. It's time to go to school. I was sent to Tangshi Elementary School. And Sarah was left at home. Mom said she's not ready to go to school yet. But when I get home, we'll tell Sarah what I learned. I drew a few pictures of us playing together. When I showed these pictures to my dad to appreciate, he will thank me. Then take my painting to his office. Store it. Until one day something terrible happened. I will never forget that day. After I got home from school that day, I saw my mother sitting alone at the table smoking a cigarette. He looks really sad. I ran to find Salad to play. But I didn't see his figure. I walked back and asked my mother where the salad was. But he started to cry. I asked him what happened. He said Sarah was gone. I don't understand what he means at all. I also started to cry. I told him we must find him. But he just shook his head. Said Salad went to a place we couldn't get to. Dad demolished his bed. He took my previous pictures with Salad. Also lost together. He tore off all the name tags on the toys. But occasionally I still find some. The label he missed. See those toys with our names on them? Made me cry sadly. I started collecting those labeled toys. Then secretly hide them all. But one day, Dad by accident found the place where I hid the toys. It makes him very angry. He forbade us to mention Sarah. As if he never existed. This is so unfair. I told my mother that Dad is really good or bad. We are not allowed to talk about Sarah, but he told me to do what my father said. He said, "I will understand when I grow up." Then I saw Sarah again. Although only once. But I will never forget. My mother and I were doing chores at that time. We went to buy some daily necessities. Then I went to a cloth shop in Thorntown. Mom wants to pick some suitable fabric for making new curtains. Halfway through, she remembered that she had to send some letters. So we stopped at the post office. Buy some stamps. When Mom was talking to the lady behind the counter, I'm humming a song, looking at the poster on the wall. Just then, I met Sarah. She is as cute as I remember. I walked over, looking at the poster with her picture printed on it. They printed her name wrong. Someone typed her name as Chainan. I rushed to my mother's side, pulling his sleeve. I told him, "Sarah is on the wall, put together with pictures of other children." But he suddenly became very flustered. After apologizing to the lady, he dragged me out of the post office. He has been trying to convince me since then. And I can't listen to what I'm saying at all. Forced me to yell. I saw Sarah. They posted her picture on that wall. In the end, my mother slapped me. And tell me, that person is not Sarah. He just looks a lot like Sarah. That's why I admit my mistake. He said, if I keep messing around, when Dad comes back, I'm in big trouble. I cried out. I promised him that I would be very good. But even if I made a promise, they still punish me for not eating dinner. That night, I can only sit in my own room. I heard Mom and Dad talking in the kitchen. Their voices are so loud. Then there is. The individual began to open the kitchen drawer vigorously. Bang bang bang. The sound of. Dad walked up the stairs with heavy steps. I heard Mom screaming, "Don't you dare to do this and try it." After that, Dad stopped outside my door. Then he walked downstairs again. We never went back to that post office again. And I never saw Sarah again. Since that day. This is the first time I mentioned Sarah.